Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. The Local Commerce Committee, which I'll talk about in our committee reports again, has been very busy. And one of the things we're very proud of is to have the Merchant of the Month. We are really pleased to have the youngest ever merchant, local Merchant of the Month. Jack Steiner is 10 years old, lives in Côte Saint-Luc. He's a barista, and he's also become a celebrity. He was my constituent. He's now living in another district, but I'm his honorary counselor still. He is making coffee for business. He's got a lot of clients. He was featured on the CTV News, and very soon he's going to be featured on the CTV National News with Omar Sachedina. So he's bringing great PR to our community. We're very proud of him. And I believe, Daryl, you have the report from CTV. So we're going to watch that first. Is that okay, Daryl? So let's pay attention to the screen and watch this report, please.
There's a new gourmet coffee service in town. It's called Steiner Coffee, and it's named for the founder, Jack Steiner. He's unlike any other barista you've ever met. Rob Lurie has his story.
Some of the world's best-known brands may soon need to wake up and smell the coffee. There's a new kid in town, and he's a different brew. For starters, he's just 10 years old.
I've always enjoyed making coffee for people, so he gave me the idea.
Jack Steiner has long been fascinated with coffee.
I think he just, liked to see how the machine worked and like pushing the buttons, and it was just something different. He's not a typical kid.
After Jack started making his parents' coffee, he got hooked.
Anyone who'd walk in the door, he would say, "Can I make you a coffee? Can I make you a coffee?"
They came over and I made them coffee, and everyone said it was good.
Jack became obsessed, enjoying a decaf a few times a week and begging his parents to buy fancy syrups.
Last year for Halloween, he asked me if he could be a Starbucks barista for Halloween. So I said, "Jack, can't you just be Spider-Man? Where do I get a Starbucks costume from?"
But this wasn't just for fun. Jack got the idea to take his show on the road. He started offering mobile barista services. He set up his own website, promoted himself on social media.
I can bring homemade syrups or store-bought syrups.
And he was soon taking bookings from family and friends.
If they have a big party, it might be hard for them to make for everyone, so I just thought it was like a good idea.
Then organizations started calling.
He's a young entrepreneur, a barista. We hired him for Federation's party tonight.
The reviews have been outstanding, and Steiner Coffee is taking off, helped by Jack's Instagram and TikTok posts.
My new frother. Nothing better.
Jack is always looking at ways to improve the business.
2 weeks ago, it was late at night, the two little kids were sleeping, and he came to my room and he said, "Mom, we need a loyalty program." And I said, "What? You need a loyalty program?" "Yeah, what do you think we should do? I need an idea. I want to print a card. I want to do something."
Now we're living up.
Jack's drive even inspired his teacher. His grade 4 class is now doing projects where the students develop their own businesses. His teacher says Jack's success, even at 10 years old, comes as no surprise.
Not only is he intelligent, but he's a kind person, and he gets along with everybody. He's so helpful, and he's a great addition to our class.
But after all this coffee talk, I had to find out for myself.
Smells good.
The rumors are true. Jack makes a mean cup of joe. Rob Lurie, CTV News.
All right. Well, the public was able to hear that on YouTube. We weren't able to, so I didn't understand. And for those of you on council who didn't hear the volume, you could go watch the council meeting on YouTube a little later. So at this point, I'd like the mayor to join me. In fact, the whole council can join me as we come in front and present Jack with a well-deserved plaque. Why don't you come up? Yeah, come on up, bring it up. Yes, you made a lot of it.
I brought my coffee, but I wouldn't mind a macchiato.
Keep up the great work. You're gonna hang that up in your room, but you're ready to school and show up. You don't think you're bringing your macchiato in?
Yeah, where? At a tech startup called Happy. We sell sleep.
Why the button? Mayor button's also off? Now it's good. Okay, very good. Well, then I want to say that again. This is better than Starbucks or Second Cup. Excellent oat milk latte. Wonderful. Thank you. Keep up your good work. Lots of success. Okay, so for question period, individuals have 3 ways to ask questions. They can send them in writing, ask them in person, or virtually online. So is there anybody first here that wants to ask a question? Otherwise, we'll go to the ones that were submitted. So you can read, Maitre Schechter, the first question submitted.
Good evening, everyone. The first question is from Linda Freed, and she states, and I quote, "Our roads are in a terrible state. It was never like this. When can we expect to see improvements? Also, the lights on Fleet used to be synced. Why has this changed? It causes long lines of traffic. Thank you."
Thank you. Well, first of all, I just want to give you an update on the roads that are scheduled for repair this year. We have a large stretch of Fleet from Cavendish to Pinedale, Cavendish from Kildare to the underpass. We're spending $5.6 million. We hope to do 6 other stretches of road across the city. We're also finalizing our plan to replace lead water service lines, and we're building into the plan resurfacing streets at the same time as we replace the pipes, which makes financial sense. So we're spending the money. I mean, as everybody knows, the tax increase this year was not insignificant, 5.95%. So we have limited funds, and we're doing our best to maintain our infrastructure without burdening the taxpayer beyond their capacity, which already is tough times. In terms of the lights on Fleet, there have been certain power failures, I'm told, that caused the lights to not be synchronized, and we're working with the hydro and with the city engineers to get those lights to be synchronized once again on Fleet. So we apologize for that, and it should be fixed. Your next, the next question, please.
Sure, Mr. Mayor. The next question is from Mr. Norman Sabin. He states, and I quote, "The greatest challenge living in Côte Saint-Luc is exiting Côte Saint-Luc, especially heading east and north. Fleet, Van Horn, Plamondon, and Vizina are clogged with no alternatives unless you buy a helicopter. The Décarie intersections are slow to cross, and if you make it to Jean Talon, your troubles are not over. What if there was a level crossing at Clanranald, north of Vizina, to cross the train tracks, one way north? This would connect with Clanranald beside Walmart and lead to Jean Talon and Jockeys. From there, one could stop at Allons-Montcoco or drive to Décarie and beyond. One could also head west to Devonshire, then north to Paris, Ferrier, Royal Mount, and Highway 40. I see this level crossing as a time saver for residents of Côte Saint-Luc and Hampstead and a way to decrease GHG emissions. The level crossing would be one way north to allow exit, but not turn Clanranald into a busy roadway."
Right.
Sorry, Mr. Mayor, there was just one last paragraph I forgot to read. Old timers have told me there was a level crossing at Clanranald until the 1960s, and level crossings are still in use in Montreal and its suburbs. Is it time to take Clanranald back to the future? End of quote.
Back to the future. In any of our discussions with CP Rail, they are against it for safety reasons. In our master plan, we've been spending a lot of time in terms of trying to connect the city, mostly with pedestrian walkways such as at Park Haven, which would connect with Côte Saint-Luc Shopping Center, and also at the Décarie Square with a pedestrian walkway that would connect us to the metro. So this has been something considered, but not accepted for safety reasons. And as we have redevelopments moving forward, hopefully we'll have better connectivity, more for public transit than for cars, but for pedestrians, walking, as well as biking, as well as public transit, we are really working hard to connect all areas of the city. So that's, any other questions?
No, Mr. Mayor, those are the two questions that I had.
Do we have any other questions online?
Je rappelle, si vous avez une question sur Zoom, if you have a question over Zoom, please press the raise hand button to ask your question live.
Okay, so we're going to move to the agenda and we'll move to the first item, which is approval of the minutes. Councillor Azarad. Councillor Cohen, you go for it. Councillor Azarad will second.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I so move, first of all, that the minutes from the regular meeting of December 12th, 2022 be approved.
You can do them all.
I think we wanted to, can we do them all together?
Yes,
Should I
yes,
read them out one by one? I
Absolutely.
also move that minutes from the special council meeting of December 19th, 2022 be approved. The 6 o'clock meeting, I also move that minutes from the special council meeting of December 19th at 7 o'clock be approved. And the minutes from the special council meeting of December 21st at 6:30 PM also be approved.
Moved by Councillor Cohen, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously, and we move to any business arising from the minutes. So then a government correspondence, Councillor Burku.
I'd like to, I don't have a copy here. Oh, here. I'd like to deposit into the record an accusé de réception that we received from the provincial government, the Direction de la francisation de l'administration et du soutien opérationnel, regarding our request to renew our status as a bilingual city under Article 29.1 and 29.2 of the Charter of the French Language. And we received this acknowledgement and confirmation of our bilingual status on the 6th of January, 2023. So I'm going to deposit the letter into the record. Thank you.
So noted.
Yeah. Okay, so as I think most people are aware, we received notice from the Office de la Langue Française at the beginning of December with a 120-day notice in order to determine if we were going to maintain our bilingual status. And of course, immediately we took action to have a resolution, the appropriate resolution, put on the agenda for our public meeting of December the 14th. We thought we were the first, but in fact, we were the second. We found out that Morin Heights had their meeting on December 8th, I believe, and they passed the resolution as well to maintain their bilingual status, which is great news. And we have a higher percentage of the population that lives in English. As we know, the criteria that's being used is mother tongue rather than the reality of what people speak at home and in the workplace and at our Aquatic and Community Center and at council meetings, which is primarily English in our city. In places like Morin Heights, the percentage is a lot lower, but yet they value the importance, particularly for tourism, of having that ability. We are the only country in the world that forbids providing service in another language than the language of the land or the majority language of the country. So it's a wonderful thing, and the city of Côte Saint-Luc is certainly promoting the fact that if you have bilingual status, you should keep it. People choose to live in these cities because of the ability to be served in both French and English. And if you want to be able to compete in the world community in North America, on the internet, you want your children, whether they're Francophone or Anglophone or Allophone or some other language at birth, to be able to have the best chances to find a job and to open a business and to succeed in the world that we live in today. Bilingualism, trilingualism, the more languages you know, the better. The idea that you're going to preserve a culture or a language by forbidding service in another language is just ridiculous. So we are encouraging everybody to reaching out to all the 47 municipalities that have received notices that their status is at stake and they need to pass those resolutions, and hopefully all of them will. And in addition to that, we're starting as of tomorrow, and we have meetings in the coming days and next week with other bilingual cities, inviting them to participate in virtual sessions on a proposed legal challenge to Bill 96 that deals with many issues, one of them being the requirements that we have to continually pass these resolutions every census to reiterate our will and our wish to maintain our bilingual status, and others. Of course, there's many other clauses that affect bilingual cities that we feel are unconstitutional. The lawyers that we've reached out to have said that they're unconstitutional, and there's many challenges that are taking place right now, and really that's the only way. That's what's left for the lawyers, the challenge for the school boards, the English school boards, for bilingual cities. The courts are what we need to rely on now to see where the future of this province is going to go for all individuals, Francophone or Anglophone or Allophone, who want to be able to do what's right, to succeed in their personal lives, and at the same time protect the culture and the language that we all live in. Statistics show that in the last 40 years, there has been an extreme success in this province in terms of individuals being able to communicate when they go out to business or when they go out to wherever they are to speak in French. The percentages, I think, are up in the 80s and 90% as opposed to what it was back in the 70s. People have come to this province and know that they're living in a French province, and that's a great thing. So forbidding another language is not going to help. It's just propaganda for political purposes. It's not going to help protect the language. So the reality is the internet's there. People are going to learn English too, and it's not going to make a difference to the culture or the continuation of French, which is doing extremely well in terms of, if you check the stats, as I just said, about people being able to communicate now in French in their communications outside of their house, when they go to school, when they go to work, when they go to for social activities. There's that ability to do so, and that's really what counts. That's how you preserve what we have here. So if anybody else wants to add comments to that, you're welcome. Otherwise, thank you all of council for passing that resolution. J'espère que les autres villes qui ont le statut bilingue vont faire la même chose que Côte Saint-Luc. C'est très important pour tous les résidents qui vivent dans ces villes. Si c'est une ville comme Morin Heights, où la population d'anglophones n'est pas très grande en comparaison à Côte Saint-Luc, mais quand même, il y a beaucoup de personnes qui ont des maisons secondaires à Morin Heights, beaucoup de touristes qui veulent avoir des services en anglais et des autres qui veulent avoir des services en français. Ça, c'est quelque chose de bon. So for whether you have a very high percentage or a smaller one, this is a status that you have and you should not give it up. That's about it for that, unless anybody else has something to add. No? Go ahead.
Okay, so I think that our resolution was very important. And I think that we really are the only city that's calling on all other cities to adopt resolutions. Doesn't cost anything, just adopt a resolution. You don't have to, spend money or do anything that's out of the ordinary course of business. And we have actually reached out to all the 47 cities that have received this notice. And we're asking them to adopt a resolution because providing services in the language of the residents is really important and is really, showing respect for the people who are residing in those places. And even if some cities, and we found out that, there's some cities that are well below the 20% level of French use or English
Mother
use,
tongue anyway.
mother tongue use. But even those cities should continue to provide services, whether it's be for their tourists, whether it be for people who are coming into the city. They should be able to provide the services in English and be able to continue to provide, the whole array of bilingual services. So that's I think it's very important that we call on all bilingual cities to adopt these resolutions, and hopefully they will. And at the same time, of course, we want to contest Bill 96, but this is a first step. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you. Okay, so that's been deposited, and then we move on to departmental reports. Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The monthly report submitted for December 2022 be and are hereby approved as drafted.
Moved by Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion? Who wants to go first? Councillor Cohen.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. First off, I'd like residents to know that they could go to www.mikecohen.ca, where I did a very comprehensive year in review. I've done that every year since I've been a councillor, and it covers most actions that were taken, activities, developments in my district, and some for my portfolios. The local commerce committee, we had a meeting the other day, Dita Burku and Daryl Levine and myself, with the new manager of the Côte Saint-Luc Shopping Center. It was a very good meeting. We picked up a lot of good information. The purpose was to talk about how can we help our local merchants better promote themselves. And we're going to follow that up with meetings with other merchants as well. And one of the things I'm going to be talking to our council about is for us to be better ambassadors and, to bring our business cards. And when we're going through the malls, when we're going to work, when we're going to visit a merchant in Côte Saint-Luc, to give them our card, to introduce ourselves to them and let them know that we're here, that we'll promote them, that we have a website, that we have a program, and so on and so forth. So that was good. We have lots of plans coming forward. Rembrandt Park, you could read my blog, an update. Thank you very much to Public Works. They've adjusted the, it's not a toboggan hill, it's a hill where you can toboggan, but we don't want to call it a toboggan hill because a toboggan hill is what we have at Trudeau Park. So it's a hill where there's a lot of tobogganing, and there was a tree last year that was right in the middle and kids were crashing into it. So they were able to kind of cover it up for the winter, and Public Works has now removed it. So I'm very happy that was done. And they've also put a fence so that no child will slide onto the street. So thank you very much to Public Works. on Wednesday at 2 p.m. at City Hall, January 18th. The documentary film, What We Choose to Remember, will be shown. It's a fabulous film, very pertinent with Bill 96. It's free. It's at 2 o'clock, and the filmmaker will be there to answer questions. Kudos at the library to Liana, who many people may know at the front desk. She found a sum of money that a patron was using as a bookmark. And imagine that the total was $580. And the patron was called. Was very happy to hear that it was found. And in return, she dropped off a plant for the library and for Liana. So Liana, very honest and wonderful employee we have. Definitely good, deserves a good mention in Joel Goldenberg's Around the Towns, that's for sure. And thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you. Anyone else? Who's next? Councillor Kajaski. Go for it.
I never go second. I'll go second. I just wanted to take a moment to, with the beginning of 2023, to thank the Engineering and Urban Planning Department for their work in 2022. This month's monthly report includes a summary of the year. So just to give you an idea, 896 permits issued, 2,615 inspections, with Kerwin Park renovation and Joshua Alexander Park renovation going on, and road resurfacing. There was a significant amount of work. And I just wanted to express my appreciation to all the staff of the department, in particular Director Charles Senecal and all his staff, senior, junior, all of the above, for their great work in 2022. Yeah, that's it for me. I'll keep
Excellent.
it brief.
Well,
Thank you,
thank you
Mr.
very
Mayor.
much, Councillor Kajaski. Anyone else? Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'll be brief. I just wanted to announce that the Confederation Annex is once again open for the winter season. We had some stop starts due to the freeze thaw cycle that we endured in December. But we now have a new schedule that accommodates pre-skate, shinny hockey for young families, shinny hockey for teens and adults. And this schedule was developed with resident feedback in mind to create safer conditions for smaller children or those who may be learning to skate or play hockey. Residents who want to venture to the outdoors to enjoy our wonderful winter facilities, such as the cross-country ski and snowshoe trails at Trudeau Park or Wager Field, the outdoor skating rinks and parks throughout the city, and the toboggan runs, should check out the winter conditions page of the Côte Saint-Luc website, which changes regularly, and you're able to check out the conditions before venturing out. Oops, I just lost my place. In addition to summarizing last month's activities, the December report from Recreation also gave a nice overview of 2022. And I just wanted to mention some of the brand new and special programs we enjoyed last year, such as summer sports at Singerman Park, Splash into La Fête Nationale, Indigenous Peoples Day with the Buffalo Hat Singers, Blossom Pool Reunion and Aquatic Celebration, and October's Enchanted Forest. And none of these wonderful events could happen without the wonderful support and facilitation and brainstorming from our recreation staff, and without the input and of our great volunteers. And we really do encourage volunteerism in Côte Saint-Luc. When people have ideas, please feel free to write to me. And I just look forward to 2023.
Excellent. Thank you, Councillor Schuster. Anyone else? Councillor Burku.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just going to look up my notes here. I was in the middle of reading something. So basically, this morning we met with the Living Lab group, and Living Lab is a group that is working on bringing technology and services to seniors in order to help them live more safely and securely at home. As you may know, we have $1 million grant that is spread out over 3 years, and we are now in the phase where we will be giving a mid sort of like an update report on all the surveys and consultations that have been done, because it's a research project as well as ultimately a pilot project. So we have to follow certain protocols. And shortly, we'll probably be posting all of that on our website to explain to people what are the next steps until we choose the 20 candidates who are going to be accepting the technologies in their home, which is going to help them basically be monitored remotely and also be able to communicate with services as they need them. Because we know social isolation among seniors is a very serious problem. And that relates to the master plan because we did conclude the master plan consultation process, the preliminary consultation. We're not anywhere near the end of the process, but the first major consultation with, I believe, over 1,500 surveys were completed. I have to check that number, but Tanya Abramovich is now basically studying and preparing a detailed report on the surveys. And also we will be publishing something with regard to what the public had to say. And when we continue to work with focus groups now, the next phase is focus groups. Every counselor is going to participate in that. And once we do that, then we're going to talk to the stakeholders like, CP Rail and certain other school boards and other institutions that are in our community. And then we will have, further reporting to do because eventually we were going to have to present the master plan proposal, but we haven't gone to tender yet for that. And that tender is in the process of being prepared shortly. It's not hasn't been done yet. So all of that to say that, those are the two portfolios that I feel are important at this point. And thank you.
Thank you. Councilor Burke, anyone else? Okay, so it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously, and we move to the next item, which is financial and information technologies. 6A, Councilor Azzarat.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the attached list of disbursements for the period of December 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022, for the total amount of $4,575,406 in Canadian funds. That Treasurer Certificate number 220166 dated December 23rd, 2022 has been issued by the City Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councilor Azzarat, seconded by Councilor Sabag. Any discussion?
Yeah, so just a little background. So there's no anomalies. It's definitely within the burn rate that we have. Some of the highlights on that is lead water service, snow removal, the first installment, and capital repayments, among other disbursements.
Thank you. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. We move to item B, Councilor Azzarat.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council hereby authorizes the membership renewal of the Union des Municipalités du Québec, including the fee for Carrefour du Capital Humain for the period covering January 1, 2023 to December 31st, 2023, in the amount of $30,609.07 plus applicable taxes. The Treasurer Certificate number 230001 dated January 9, 2023 has been issued by the Treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councilor Azzarat, seconded by Councilor Sabag. Any discussion?
Sure, just a little background. So the UMQ offers, among many things, training for the elected officials, group tenders, and defends the municipalities as well. So it's just a renewal that we do every year with the UMQ.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Item C, Councilor Gajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you. Well, 02 or 306. There we go. Be it resolved that bylaw 2603 entitled bylaw 2603, authorizing a loan of $1,386,000, including professional fees for the replacement of various lead service lines throughout the territory of the city of Côte Saint-Luc, be and is hereby adopted.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion?
So it's pretty straightforward. This is simply the loan bylaw, so we can finance the replacement of lead pipes for the upcoming year.
Excellent. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now item D, Councillor Kajewski.
Oh, D or 7A?
We did 6C, and now you're gonna have to do D and E.
I don't have D and E.
So D is $546,000 professional fees for sidewalk repairs and various locations at the city. That's D.
Okay, I'm getting there. Hold on, because it's all grouped in.
313.
Yeah, hold on.
And then you're gonna be doing E, which is dealing with
Yep, I have it.
something else.
I have it. It's just not bookmarked. Okay, I'm good. Here we go. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that bylaw 2604, entitled bylaw 2604, authorizing a loan of $546,000, including professional fees for sidewalk repairs at various locations belonging to the city of Côte Saint-Luc, be and is hereby adopted.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion?
Oh, same as the previous resolution.
Sidewalks and various locations. Thank you. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we go to E, which is $1,252,000 for professional fees for LED lights,
Okay.
etc.
Yep. It resolved that bylaw 2605, entitled bylaw 2605, authorizing a loan of $1,252,000, including professional fees for the purchase and installation of LED streetlights, conduits, and electrical wires for streetlights at various locations in the territory of the city of Côte Saint-Luc, be and is hereby adopted.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion on that?
Same as previous, however, for LED streetlights for the coming project.
All in favor? Carried. Councillor Cullen, in favor, I guess. Carried unanimously. Now we go to item F. Councillor Sabag, item F.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that bylaw 2606, titled bylaw 2606, authorizing a loan of $215,000 for the purchase and planting of various trees within the territory of Côte Saint-Luc, be and hereby adopted.
Moved by Councillor Sabag, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion? Trees.
Planting trees.
Planting trees, all in favor? All in favor of trees? Carried unanimously. And now we move on to item G, Councillor Kajewski, which is a $300,000 loan for professional fees for Kerwin Park.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that bylaw 2607, entitled bylaw 2607, authorizing a loan of $300,000, including professional fees for the purchase and installation of a fence for the baseball field at Kerwin Park, situated at 5732 Wentworth Avenue in the city of Côte Saint-Luc, be and is hereby adopted.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Sabag. Any discussion?
I feel the need to make a comment here. Just a brief one.
Go for it.
Because this is in fact not part of the Kerwin Park project. This is part of a fence that is in fact deficient from a previous project several years ago for the fencing around Kerwin Park Diamond number 2, for which we will be attempting to recover funds. So it has nothing to do with the Kerwin Park project. It is a separate project. Kerwin Park remains on budget.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously, and we will have a fence. And now we go to the next item, which is the ACC. Councillor Burko.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm just, I'm almost there. Yeah. Oh, that's it. Sorry. I don't see the resolution. Hang on. Okay. Be it resolved that bylaw 2608, entitled bylaw 2608, authorizing a loan of $1,970,000, including professional fees for various renovations at the Aquatic Community Center, ACC, situated at 7500 Mackle Road in the city of Côte Saint-Luc, be and is hereby adopted.
Moved by Counselor Berkey, seconded by Counselor Schuster. Any discussion? Doesn't matter. Any discussion?
Yeah, so I feel the need to discuss some of this, some of the issues here. With regard to the repairs that we are doing, the scope of the project is basically to include the correction and remediation of the construction deficiencies to the building envelope. The project will be carried out over a period of 2 years. The professional services and the roof restoration work will be for 2023, and the restoration of the walls and metal cladding will be for 2024 budget. And all of this is part of our claim against Pomerleau due to the construction deficiencies that we uncovered in the past 2-3 years, and which are still under warranty. So pursuant to the discoveries that we made, pursuant to some leaks and some issues that we had with the insulation of the building, we have conducted various investigations and inspections and expertises. And we feel very strongly that we will be able to make, proof on this claim. But in the meantime, we have to protect our assets. So we are conducting the work. And this is just a borrowing bylaw. Next step is to give the contracts for the professional services and then to give the contract for the actual work. So it's just the authorization to borrow.
Thank you, Counselor Berkey. Seconded by Counselor Schuster. So any further discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously, and we move to the next item, which is item I, Counselor Sabag. Vehicles and equipment. No, the light ones. Page 351, yeah.
Be it resolved that bylaw 2610 authorizing the loan of 445,000.
Get the right one?
351.
351.
It's the wrong one then. 357 here, sorry. Règlement, give me a second.
Bylaw 2609.
All right, be it resolved that bylaw authorizing a loan of 186,000 for the purchase of vehicle and equipment.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Be adopted.
Be adopted. I mean, yeah, be adopted. Sorry, it was 351 on my end. So let me redo it, okay? Just so we're clear. Be it resolved that bylaw 2609 entitled bylaw 2609 authorizing a loan of 186,000 for the purchase of vehicle and equipment be and hereby adopted.
Moved by Counselor Sabag, seconded by Counselor Azarad. Any discussion? These are for light vehicles.
We just want our fleet to be as new as possible to serve our wonderful residents.
And these are hybrid vehicles from my understanding.
Hybrid, yeah.
So moved and seconded, all in favor? Carried unanimously. We go to J, which is heavy vehicles. Counselor Azarad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that bylaw 2610 entitled bylaw 2610 authorizing a loan of $445,000 for the purchase of the heavy vehicles and heavy vehicle equipment be and hereby adopted.
Moved by Counselor Azarad, seconded by Counselor Sabag. Any discussion?
Yeah, basically it's for a 10-wheel dump truck and a tractor with salt spreader.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor? Carried unanimously, and now we go to K, Counselor Berkey. Renovations at Singerman Park Chalet, page 365.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that bylaw 2611 entitled bylaw 2611 for renovations to be completed at the Singerman Park Chalet building situated at 5564 Robinson in the city of Côte Saint-Luc, and the application of the sum of $123,900 taken from available balances of various bylaws in view of financing an expense of $123,900 be and is hereby adopted.
Moved by Councillor Berkoup, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion?
Yes, this is not a borrowing bylaw. This is a bylaw to basically take $123,900 from available balances from our surplus in view of financing the renovations Singerman. And then we will we'll reimburse the funds, but we're not going out to borrow the money. We have the money in our bylaws already.
Thank you. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Now we move to Human Resources, 7A. Councillor Kajewski. Page 376.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council ratifies the hiring of Patrick Awad as a project manager effective February 13th, 2023. That treasurer certificate number 23-0006 dated January 9th, 2023 has been issued by the city treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Azarad. In discussion.
I'll speak on behalf of the department. I know this is a very welcome addition to the team. Very needed extra body in the urban planning department. So welcome to Patrick, and I hope he'll be with us for a long time.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Item number B, Councillor Azarad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the Côte Saint-Luc City Council ratifies the hiring of Livio Badea as an electrician effective January 5, 2023. The treasurer certificate number 23-0007 dated January 9, 2023 has been issued by the city treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Azarad, seconded by Councillor Sabag. Any discussion?
Pretty straightforward. We're hiring an electrician.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we move on to triathlon coaches. Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council ratifies the hiring of Shelby Lajeunesse, Sean Lajeunesse, Emma Holiday, Javier Cuevas, Luke Fisher, and Felix Lapalme as triathlon team coaches effective January 2nd, 2023. The treasurer certificate number 23-009 dated January 9th, 2023 has been issued by the city treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Kajewski. Any discussion?
Just a brief explanation that these triathlon coaches were working with us the previous year, and their contracts were renewed from January to December 2023, and that the triathlon sports are becoming increasingly popular in Côte Saint-Luc, and we're trying to really boost that program.
Excellent. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Now let's hire some swim team coaches. Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council ratifies the hiring of Lawrence Carrier, Linda Babbins, Timun Uyanga, Julia Rusquito, and Olivia Wood as swim team coaches effective January 2nd, 2023. The treasurer certificate number 23-008 dated January 9th, 2023 has been issued by the city treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Kajewski. Any discussion?
Similar explanation that these are renewed contracts for January through to December 2023.
Yes, Councillor Kajewski.
I feel the need to make a quick comment here because obviously this is part of the permanent record. So in case my daughter Rose one day watches this on YouTube, I would like to congratulate her as the newest member of the Côte Saint-Luc swim team.
Woo.
Had her try out the other day. She'll be in the intro to competition. So Rose, if you're listening to this one day in the future, Congratulations and do great in the Olympics. Thank you.
All right. So it's been moved and seconded, and we have a new swimmer. All in favor? Carried unanimously, and now we move to item E, Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council approves the hiring of a replacement white-collar auxiliary employee whose name is listed on the document titled Auxiliary Employees, White Collars Hiring, dated January 11th, 2023, and that said employee's term of employment will be as per the condition of the collective agreement. That Treasurer's Certificate number 22-0167 dated December 23, 2022 has been issued by the City Treasurer, attesting to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Kajewski. Any discussion?
Just that the list of white collars in this case is for the arena. That's all.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Carried unanimously, and now we move to item 8A, Councillor Burku. Mandate to the Union des Municipalités du Québec. It's 405. Joint purchasing group for insurance protection of the reputation and privacy of elected officials and senior civil servants. An optional criminal liability insurance for health and safety matters.
Be it resolved that the City of Côte Saint-Luc joins the purchasing group of the Union des Municipalités du Québec for the purpose of awarding a contract for the protection of the reputation and privacy of elected officials and senior civil servants and optional criminal liability insurance in matters of health and safety, C-21, for the period provided for in the agreement attached here to. The council hereby authorizes the mayor, the city clerk, or the city treasurer to sign for and on behalf of the city the agreement entitled Entente de regroupement de municipalités au sein de l'Union des municipalités du Québec relativement à l'achat en commun d'assurance protection de la réputation et de la vie privée des élus et hauts fonctionnaires, an optional of criminal liability insurance in matters of health and safety submitted and attached hereto to form an integral part thereof as if recited in full.
Okay, moved by Councillor Burku, seconded by Councillor Cohen. Any discussion?
Yeah, so this is, we're joining the group of to purchase insurance protection for the reputation and private lives of elected members and senior civil servants who are the object of harassment or, some kind of damage to reputation. And this helps us to cover any costs that we might have to bear if we have to defend ourselves and also take legal proceedings.
Exactly. Okay. It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Now we move to Parks and Rec. 9A, Councillor Schuster, notice of motion.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I hereby give notice of motion that bylaw 2602 to be entitled bylaw 2602, creating the fee schedule for culture, sports, and leisure activities for the spring and summer of 2023 be presented at a later meeting for adoption.
I hope so. So that's done. You've notice of motion and tabling. Thank you, Councillor Schuster. When we get to urban planning, we need to make sure that somebody's going to be able to post in the absence of Councillor Erdely. So I don't know if you're going to be able to post the pictures or we need Daryl. Urban planning. I'm just giving you a little heads up in advance if you can. So if you can, somebody can get Daryl, that would be useful. You should know that. Okay, we're going to have to move on to item 9B, Councillor Schuster.
Okay, so we're coming back to the tabling. Is that my understanding?
Well, you did. The notice of motion and tabling is done.
Your understanding is correct. I think Councillor Schuster had to just table the bylaw just to complete the file.
No, we don't vote on a table.
No, it's just a tabling. So the bylaw's been tabled as well, then the record will note that.
I'm confused. It's done.
Okay.
Okay.
We just have to table it.
I have, okay, because I hereby table draft bylaw 2602 entitled bylaw 2602, creating the fee schedule for culture, sports and leisure activities for the spring and summer of 2023. Is it
Thank
tabled?
you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much,
Okay.
Councillor Schuster. And we have not moved on yet. We're waiting. Everything's cool. We're back. We have our city manager, and our city clerk, and he's doing all the hats today. Okay, number,
Exactly.
and getting communications going. Okay, 9B, Councillor Schuster, please. 9B.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Okay. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council hereby awards a contract to Redox Piscine et Spa Inc. for the maintenance of pools from the period between February 1st, 2023 to January 31st, 2024 for an estimated amount of $52,903 plus applicable taxes. That Treasurer's Certificate number 23-003 dated January 9th, 2023 has been issued by the city treasurer attesting to the availability of funds to cover the described expenses.
Thank you, Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Kudowski. Any discussion?
Just that this is the maintenance company that services our indoor and outdoor pools, including any wading pools.
Excellent. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? I guess Councillor Cohn's in favor. Councillor Kudowski, you're in favor of keeping the pools nice and maintained? Thank you. Unanimously done. And now we go to C, which is the clarity of the water at the pool. Councillor Schuster.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that Côte Saint-Luc City Council hereby awards a one-year contract for the supply of chemical products to Aldist Inc. for the period of January 1st, 2023 to December 31st, 2023 for an estimated amount of $54,997.50 plus applicable taxes. That Treasurer's Certificate number 23-002 was issued on January 9th, 2023 by the city treasurer to attest to the availability of funds to cover the above described expenses.
Thank you, Councillor Schuster, seconded by Councillor Kudowski. Any discussion on that?
Just that this is the contract for any chemicals, chlorine and things that keep our pools nice and clear.
And I can certainly attest when I go swimming in that pool, I haven't seen clearer water.
Agreed.
So they're using the right chemicals. Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. Public Works 10A, Councillor Azarad.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the city of Côte Saint-Luc City Council hereby declare Meloche Division de Centre bid non-conforming, that the council hereby award a contract for the purchase of bituminous products to Construction DJL Inc. for an estimated amount of $47,400 plus applicable taxes for the period between February 1, 2023 to November 30th, 2023. That the Treasurer's Certificate number 23-0004 was issued by City Treasurer on January 9, 2023 to attest the availability of funds to cover the described expenses. That should the city actual consumption exceed the above estimated amount, the excess shall be approved according to the city's procedures.
Moved by Councillor Azarad, seconded by Councillor Sabag. Any discussion?
So just a couple of points. This was only for cold and hot asphalt. Normally they would buy crushed stones as well. And this time it was separated because Public Works felt they would save some money that way, as well as buying it in a seasonal format. So that's why the amount would be different than the previous years.
Okay. So it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And we move to the next item, 10B, Councillor Sabag.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the city of Côte Saint-Luc hereby renew the two existing contracts with Colostat Inc. for the 2023 year with respect to the following terms: an all-inclusive HVAC preventive maintenance contract for the Aquatic and Community Center building for the period starting January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023 for the amount of $43,370 plus applicable taxes. A regular HVAC preventive maintenance contract for 10 of the city facility, namely gymnasium, fire station, public works, parks and recreation, Pierre Elliott Trudeau Parks, Chalet number 1 and 3, Rembrandt Park Chalet, and the 3 pumping stations of the city for the period starting January 1st, 2023 and ending December 31st, 2023 for the amount of $19,029 for the plus applicable taxes, that the treasurer certificate 23-0005 was issued on January 9th, 2023 to attest the availability of the funds to cover the described expenses.
Moved by Councillor Sabag, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion? I think it speaks for itself. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we go to C, Councillor Kajewski. Bylaw to regulate the collection and disposal of residual materials.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
443.
Be it resolved that bylaw 2537-3 entitled bylaw 2537-2, is that a typo? 2537-3, right? Amending bylaw 2537 entitled bylaw to regulate the collection and disposal of residual materials in order to amend the provisions regarding waste collection be and is hereby adopted.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Sabag. Any discussion? All in all in favor. Carried unanimously. All right, now we go to urban developments. And I don't know if we get pictures, but if we do,
Yeah.
put them on the screen.
Director Levine is on it.
11.1.
Stepping into big shoes.
If you're watching, it's his birthday today, Councillor Lee, and he's not here. Could have had a cake for him.
Oh, no.
He's at another important
celebrate.
event. So we'll get those pictures up and we're starting with 7504 Kildare, Councillor Kajewski.
Here we go. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing the addition of a second story and facade modifications to an existing detached single-family dwelling on lot 105-3536 and prepared by Dev Miko for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of December 13th, 2022, and revised on December 19th, 2022, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion?
We see it up there on the screen. It's a second story addition, a facade modification to a home on Kildare, not far from Parkhaven, Glenarden. And thanks to urban planning staff for working closely with the residents and the architect to make the adjustments to this project. It's gonna be a very nice addition to the streetscape that many people drive by on a daily basis.
Very nice. Moved and seconded, all in favor? Carried unanimously. 5696 Einstein, Councillor Kajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing a rear extension to an existing detached single-family dwelling on lot 156-1866 and prepared by Agape plus Alt Architect SENC for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of December 13th, 2022, and revised on December 21st, 2022, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Schuster. Any discussion?
Again, we're seeing a bit of a theme here with a revision to a project initially not recommended to be approved by the Planning Advisory Committee. Again, the work of staff and urban planning, Melanie Rothpan. Yes, this is we actually asked for this home to maintain its white siding in both the front and the back rather than create a darker siding to the home, which preserves the original spirit of the home. And I think it's actually very, very nice what they're going to do in the back and the front there.
Very nice. So moved and seconded by Councillor Schuster. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we go to 5518 Westbourne, Councillor Kajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing a partial second story addition, a lateral extension and a rear extension to an existing detached single-family dwelling on lot 156-1701 and prepared by Habitation Prestige for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of December 13th, 2022, and revised on December 19th, 2022, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the city of Côte Saint-Luc.
Very nicely done. Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Burku. Any discussion?
I sound like a broken record,
Very nice.
but obviously,
I like it.
Melanie Rothman did a lot of work in the last week before holidays. This also was revised and then recommended for approval by PAC following that revision.
So it's been moved and seconded by Councillor Burku. All in favor? Carried unanimously, and we go to 5501 to 5579 Westminster. Councillor Kajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that the site planning and architectural integration program showing the replacement of the existing sign with a new sign located on the building and within the existing frame on lot 1053808 and prepared for the Planning Advisory Committee meeting of December 13th, 2022, be approved according to the provisions of Chapter 14 of Bylaw 2217 of the City of Côte Saint-Luc.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Burku, I think. Want to second that sign? She seconds the sign.
Seconds the
Any
sign.
discussion?
This is just a replacement of the sign, creation or installation of a new sign for the gym, the Co-op Sportive Santé at 5555 Westminster.
All in favor? Carried unanimously. We move to minor exemptions. Councillor Kajewski, 5621 Blossom.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of bylaw G18-0005, the request for a minor exemption regarding the property located at 5621 Blossom, lot 1052097, be and is hereby approved, the whole as more amply delineated hereunder. The request is to allow the existing semi-detached single-family dwelling built in 1963 under permit number 1963-02034 to maintain its current east lateral setback at a minimum distance of 1.95 meters instead of the minimum required lateral setback of 1.98 meters. The whole notwithstanding the provisions of zoning bylaw number 2217, Annex B, Zone RU 16, and Article 4-4-2.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion?
This is a straightforward minor exemption for 3 centimeters and a very diligent land surveyor for a property on Blossom.
Okay. All in favor? Give them 3 centimeters. It's done. Carried unanimously. And now we go to 5696 Einstein.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of bylaw G18-0005, the request for a minor exemption regarding the property located at 5696 Einstein, lot 1561866, be and is hereby approved, the whole as more amply delineated hereunder. The request is to allow the existing detached single-family dwelling to maintain its current east lateral setback at a minimum of 1.93 meters instead of the minimum required lateral setback of 1.98 meters, to allow the construction of a 2-story rear extension along the existing east lateral setback at a minimum distance of 1.93 meters instead of the minimum required lateral setback of 1.98 meters, and a balcony located at a minimum distance of 1.93 meters from the east lateral land line instead of the minimum required distance of 2.0 meters from the lateral land line. The whole, notwithstanding the provisions of zoning bylaw number 2217, Annex B, Zone RU-32, Article 4-4-2, Article 4-4-3, and Article 4-4-5A.
Moved by Councillor Kajewski, seconded by Councillor Azarad. Any discussion?
Similar to the previous resolution or the one before, this is for 5 centimeters
Very nice.
as well as related to the previous resolution for the PIIA.
Moved and seconded. All in favor? Carried unanimously. And now we go to 5518 Westbourne. Councillor Kajewski.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be it resolved that in accordance with the provisions of bylaw G18-0005, the request for a minor exemption regarding the property located at 5518 Westbourne, lot 1561701, be and is hereby approved, the whole as more amply delineated hereunder. The request is to allow the existing detached single-family dwelling to maintain its current east lateral setback at a distance of 1.72 meters instead of the minimum required lateral setback of 1.98 meters, to allow the construction of a 1-story rear extension along the existing east lateral setback at a minimum distance of 1.72 meters instead of the minimum required lateral setback of 1.98 meters. And to allow the construction of a lateral extension and a second story addition above the existing garage with a minimum west lateral setback of 1.5 meters instead of the minimum required lateral setback of 1.98 meters. The whole notwithstanding the provisions of zoning bylaw number 2217 Annex B, Zone RU-7 and Article 4-4-2.
Well, we certainly picked the right person to be chair of PAC. Very good reader.
Thanks.
Moved by Councilor Gajowski, seconded by Councilor Berku. Any discussion?
Again, similar to the previous resolution, this one for 26 centimeters. So and 48 centimeters, I believe, and again, related to the previous resolution for the PIIA for Westbourne.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? Carried unanimously, and now we go to Stance at the Aglo, Councilor Sabat.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Be resolved that the council take the following stance in view of any agglomeration council meetings to be held in February 2023 as follows. To authorize the mayor or his duly authorized replacement to make any decisions he deems necessary and in the best interest of the city of Côte Saint-Luc and its residents regarding the items on the agenda of the agglomeration council meetings to be held in February 2023 based on the information to be presenting during those meetings.
Moved by Councilor Sabag, seconded by Councilor Berku. Any discussion? All in favor? Carried unanimously. Any other business? Second question period. Any questions?
If you have a question for second question period, please press the raise hand button in Zoom now.
Okay, so move to adjourn.
So it'd be moved.
Moved by Councilor Sabag, seconded by Councilor Azarad. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank you all for coming. We'll see you next time.